So I've been getting asked a lot recently what it's like day to day driving a Tesla, as far as charging and how often do I need to charge, how long does it take to charge, can I make it to work and back with one, and all that kind of stuff. So just kind of want to go over that. Essentially, there is 3 different levels of charging. It's called level 1, level 2, and then level 3. So your first, and I'm not going to say the most common level, is level 1. That's going to be your standard wall outlet. Now, essentially, that's going to charge anywhere to 3 to 5 miles an hour every hour. So you're really not getting a lot of range if you charge overnight. You might get 30 miles essentially. But the one that you're most likely going to go with is going to be level 2 charging. It's about anywhere from say 15 to 30 plus miles every hour that you're going to gain. So overnight charging, you're going to wake up and you're going to have a full battery. So I've had people say, well, what if I get to work and back? Like, am I going to be able to make it to work and back? Well, yeah, obviously. How often, do you wake up in the morning and put a full tank of gas and use that whole tank just that day? Very, very rarely. And that's if you're going on a trip. So that's with level 2 charging. I mean, for example, I had 40 something percent battery when I got home, plugged it in, and it's going to take me 4 hours. Okay, well, it's going to be charged by 2, 3 in the morning. I'm not going to have any problem. When I get up in the morning, I'll be good to go. So that's your level 2. That's going to be your most common at your house. The third option is like DC fast charging. That is going to be a supercharger, essentially. So if you're traveling, that's something you use. It's not something you're probably going to use every day. It's not something you have to use every day or need to. You don't have to. I mean, I've went to a supercharger once since I've actually got the car home, and it's nice, like going up to Cleveland and back. If I wasn't paying attention and didn't charge it much, I can hit the supercharger on the way back for 20-30 minutes and it'll charge. I've only used those enough times to where I know that I don't really need to use them. They don't charge of any reasonable amount. They charge super fast, and it's, again, just mainly for traveling. But for day-to-day use, you're gonna wake up with essentially, quote unquote, a full tank every morning, which is more than enough for most people. I mean, my commute to work and back is probably 50 miles, collectively, and obviously I have plenty of battery by the time I get back. So it's nothing I ever really worry about anymore. It was something I thought I might worry about when I got the car, and it's something that I haven't touched. One thing to keep in mind, though, when you're charging it is, they quote, hey, you're going to get 300 miles on a charge or 400 miles on a charge. Well, yeah, you might get 400 miles on a charge, but it's not all that simple. So essentially here on this, there's ideal and rated. So right now I'm at like 50% battery and it says rated 141 miles. Okay, cool. That sounds great. So, about 200 or 300 miles on a full charge. Well, you hit rated here and it goes down to 122. Well, what's the difference? Obviously how you're driving it. So, ideally you're not gonna have the heat on. You're not gonna have the, music playing. You're not gonna have the air conditioning on, heated seats, anything on. Ideally you hop on the highway and you just go, and you're gonna get 300 miles. Well, that's not gonna work all like that. The other thing to keep in mind too is with electric vehicles, typically you're not going to actually charge them above 100%. You're actually typically going to charge anywhere about to 80%, and you're not going to go below 20% actually. I mean, you can, it's not going to harm the thing, but if you're doing it all the time, it's not great for it. So typically you're going to I charge it to 80% every morning. And then when I get back at the end of the day after going to work, going to, wherever it may be, I'll have anywhere from, 40 to 60%, which is plenty. You know, so really I could probably lower that. Essentially, it just helps the battery last longer if you're not charging to those extremes, whether it be, you know, 95% or 5%. You don't want to run it out of gas, but you don't want to essentially fill it with gas, however you want to look at that. So that's something that I've had to get used to. You know, and that's something that people talk to me all the time. Well, why wouldn't you charge it all the way? Because, well, it's not great for the battery. It's just like a cell phone. You got to think of it. I think of this car more as a cell phone or an iPad than I do a vehicle. It's different in every way. When something goes wrong with the vehicle, first thing you do is you take it to a mechanic, or, you know, have someone you know look at it. Well, first thing you do with this is you turn it off and turn it back on. And so far, that has fixed every single problem that I've slightly had with the car. You know, as far as electronics go, obviously. So other than that, you know, they're really perfect daily cars. They're super efficient. I get like the quote unquote equivalent of like 90 miles a gallon. You know, initially they are expensive, but once you get in, you know, it's not that you're not paying gas, but I mean, 90 miles a gallon, quote unquote, for how much it costs to charge it. Cool deal. So that's kind of everyday life with a Tesla.